So PlayStation Network was out for over 24 hours. This was the response that they gave. They were silent the entire time. But once it came back live, they put out this this message. It says network services have fully recovered from an operational issue. From an operation.
I get surgery and shit. Like what? What just took place, guys?
Like, what operations were you doing to fuck this up? Do you know what I'm saying? Like I don't get it. It says we apologize for the inconvenience. It was the layoffs. They laid off the guy who was in charge of this shit. They're like, oh shit, we forgot.
Bob is gone now, so
yeah, back here. They're like, Bob, we're sorry. We forgot you handled this shit, man. Says we apologize for the inconvenience and thank the community for their patience. There was no patience. Everybody hated you. They were really upset. All PlayStation Plus members will automatically receive an additional 5 days of service. But like it was said by our Doodle, when do you claim those 5 days?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Do they move your bill date back 5 days? Like, we need to understand what's happening here. Okay. This is not very likely. I do see our boy Space Shot in the building.
Yo.
Oh, wait. My bad. Space Shot, we'll get to you. Our boy Dark Angelic in the building.
Let's go.
With that $2 super chat, man. Appreciate
you,
homie. Didn't even see it. It says, Phonies glad the PlayStation Network outage didn't affect X and Pornhub. They were. That's the one. Like, the ponies that you didn't see complaining, you know what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? They're like, I don't use this shit for that anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh snap, I'm still getting mine. You're saying like that's their mentality. But yeah, Dark Angelic, I feel you, bro, for sure. Space Shot in the building, member for 4 months, man. Thank you so much, my brother. Appreciate you, homie. Appreciate the support. Says the operation of PlayStation Network was cut off temporarily by an operational issue. The cause was a lack of operation. You're welcome for our transparency. Yo, that's fire. It's true though. It's true. Like, I honestly, my real belief is like they just forgot to pay. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, that makes sense to me. That sounds like it could be a broke bitch problem. So we know the troubles they face, even though the gallopers don't want to see it. We here know the type of real issues that PlayStation's going through. So
Facts.
you know.
So obviously this is typical PlayStation, right? Like, as much as it's like, oh shit, it's like another day in the life, right? Like, they shit gets hacked all the time. They don't even know, like, most people don't even notice when their system is down because they ain't got no games to play anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really a nothing burger for most people. But they were upset. I saw them. They were not happy that it got shut down, for sure. That's just the truth. Now, what do you feel, baby girl, about PlayStation just casually, going ahead? I mean, let's just fact check this for a second. Let's just make sure. Let's see. Okay. Interrupt the gameplay issues. Start. Okay. Okay, so February 9th, Neversource has been fully restored. Okay, so it was restored on the 8th. All right. But then they put out on the 9th, what went down, right? Oh, the operational issue, you get 5 days of service, right? And then before that was at 8:46 p.m. on the 7th. So 8:46 p.m. on the 7th, 6 feet. So almost 24 hours with no communication. Okay. They just said, hey, I know there's some issues. First of all, they said some users, right? And we know it wasn't some users. Everybody.
It was global,
right?
yeah.
Global. There was no Oh, some people. Nope, everybody. So they lied here, right? Just to obviously they don't want to take responsibility. And then they said, just click this link and watch it for eternity. And then again, a little. So this obviously happened hours after the problem started. And then they went ahead and they made another post that had nothing to do with it, right? So they were just like, oh, let's just talk about the SSD. Okay, let's remind people about the SSD on a PlayStation. And then after that, they said, okay, it's been restored, right? So at 6:58 p.m. And then about 6 hours later, they told everybody what they were gonna do. So again, almost 24 hours with no communication, with people freaking out, wondering what's going on, not knowing when it's going to happen.
They didn't find a reason to kind of, or there was no urgency in telling people, listen, we're having some issues, we're working on it, hang tight, or something where it's like they didn't just dip out. I think that's the issue, right? When you're talking about a company that's as unstable as PlayStation, it's like, what happened now? Mm-hmm. Is this going to get fixed? Is this them? Are they done? All these things kind of cross your mind, and rightfully so. I feel like they should have addressed it right away, that they're aware of the problem rather than waiting till after. It was a lengthy situation that took place over 24 hours. That's no joke, right? And again, it seems like this 5-day additional 5 days of service cash out it should be something that reflects right away. Move that date, right? Everyone just gets an extra money. Give them something, right?
Like, what is 5
for their
days
troubles
of the service cost? Put it in as a credit.
They owe more than that though, because any game that required a PSN login, so even if you were a PC gamer, you couldn't play your single player game if it required a PSN login. So even like hypothetically, like Lego Horizon on the Switch, if Lego Horizon on the Switch requires a PSN login, you couldn't play that game for 24 hours. So it wasn't just like online players that were affected. People who play your single player games are also affected. So even if you don't have a PS Plus account, there were games you couldn't play.
Yeah, take accountability for what took place. Not that anybody was out there, playing Lego Ho, but in case they wanted to, they didn't, and it happened in like going right into the weekend, right?
Yeah.
So the time where some people, that's the time that they have to go ahead and play. And if they were looking forward to something that just wasn't there, and not hearing anything from PlayStation to let you know that they're aware of the issue, I think that was mishandled. There should be something that makes them feel better in the now. Not if you cash in someday, if you cancel your services, you're going to get 5 extra days, or however they're going to try to spin it. They're very tricky with their words. And right here where they said, some, right? What was it? To the services, I fully know the other one that you had shown, where it said some people had trouble with their PSN. Yes, like they're not even taking full-blown accountability for it. And why they're saying some is for those people that didn't log in, that were not aware that they had an issue. Facts. It's like, oh, maybe that didn't happen to me, right? So they're kind of finding
the loop.
Exactly. Finding that loophole. So I it's just frustrating. They know everything was out. It's annoying that they're still being the same way, not taking accountability for the issues. This is why it's so difficult to think that they've learned any lessons from anything that's taken place. And this is why they're in the situation that they're in. Again, I would love to have seen them go ahead and kind of just do something for the players.
Yeah, for sure.
That's simple. Go ahead, pay up.
the homie Fuzzy, what do you think about PlayStation allowing this to happen again? No conversation during the time for almost 24 hours, no word on it. And then, all right, sorry for that. Here's 5 days.
I'm more of the belief that if it's 12 hours or less, you give a week. If it's over 12 hours, especially if it goes into at least a day, then you comp a month. And that's the way it should have been. If
Facts.
I'm wondering why they didn't go into details other than this, operational issue. Like, to me, that sounds like a kind way to say you pissed off the people you laid off that may have been part of the network, systems and stuff. And when you were ushering them out the door, one of them happened to trip over the cable and unplugged it, and nobody figured out how to plug it back in, kind of thing.
That's hilarious.
They were more concerned about getting the security to get them out of the building, as opposed to make sure that, you fire them on Friday at the end of the day, not like middle of the day or the day before where stuff can go awry kind of thing. But
That's wild.
It came across weird that, they're like, oh, it's down for some people. We ain't got nothing else to say. Talk to y'all later. And everybody's like, what? Wait, I got the Monster Hunter beta this weekend, which I guess hopefully they talk nice to Capcom to extend that weekend or something.
Yeah, they got 5 more days of the Monster Hunter Wilds beta.
But like with Call of
Duty,
I
think that was less. I don't think that was a PlayStation conversation. I think that was Capcom. Like, you motherfuckers, god damn it! We were literally picked this weekend. This is the weekend you fucking do this, you dirty, stupid bitches. That's why we don't give you exclusives anymore. That's all I heard.
Exactly. And like COD had the season start type of thing for the Terminator or whatever. So it's like, those people are kind of, SOL at this point as far as getting those skins and stuff. So I'm not saying that Sony should pay out a big amount of compensation, but it's like, if you're at the 12-hour mark, give a week. If you're above the 12-hour mark, give a month. Like,
it should be a easily seen thing that you received. It should be a month, and it should be your next month. So your next month, no charge, and then start charging again after. That's what it should be. Not this other bullshit. Or money.
Sympathy goes a long way, right? So being able to kind of say, listen, this is for your troubles. And yes, I think a lot of people, considering the fact that you're stealing that money from most of them anyways, like it would be a nice thing to do.
And the thing that kind of pissed me off, because I turn my PS5 on occasion to play GT7 and stuff, and that's still a game. If it doesn't have a network, it doesn't work. Like, They had this with GT Sport, where after, I guess, the community complained enough, they made it so it would sync later once the network came back online, kind of thing. So as long as you didn't turn your console completely off, you just put in like rest mode or whatever, you didn't lose whatever progress, didn't get synced up type of thing if the power went out or whatever type of deal. But the fact that they still haven't done that with GT7, and if I'm not mistaken, GT7 is at least 2 years old. It might be going on year 3 at this point, and you don't have a true offline mode. Like, that's unacceptable. And the fact that nobody's really complaining, I mean, I guess it really goes to show what Pharaoh was saying earlier, where Forza Horizon 5 is probably going to kill GT7 on that platform, just for the fact that they don't care enough about the customers to have it where they can do that offline mode with cars in your garage. Like, the way it works now, you get one rinky-dink car, no slight at anybody that owns a Suzuki or anything like that, but to only have that one car and be on that one oval track is like ridiculous at this point. Or you could do like the one song thing.
And it's hard to get, and you have to spend a lot of real money to get cars in Gran Turismo. Like, it's not like, or you got to grind.
Time. Well, that's another thing I had to complain about that game when it first came out. Like, everybody will say, "Oh, Forza just throws cars at you. You can sneeze in the car." That's fine. At least you have the fun of driving Ferraris without having to have the real life worries of hey, I gotta pay the insurance or pay X amount of
Facts.
dollars. Like
Yeah.
you can get a Ferrari.
Like the fun
and,
should not be. Go ahead.
No, yeah, you're exactly right. The game is meant to be fun, not have realistic, auctions. Like I guess was it Kaz said something like, "You should feel the sense of pride earning these cars." It's like, dude, last game,
I mean, yeah,
sport, you could spend $5 and get that Ferrari, right? You have to spend $20 now to get that same $5 Ferrari in GT7. Or spend, I think I calculated it to something like a week and 7 hours or something of doing a certain race to get that amount of money. Like, I mean, I've done the grind on that thing, but I'm not trying to get every car. I got like duplicates of certain cars so I can create or recreate a racing series out of the cars in my garage and stuff. But it's like when they said that nonsense, it's like the previous game would give me 100,000 for a win in like a fairly decent race that might take me 5 or 10 minutes. Now I'm lucky if I get 30,000. Now they've upped the amounts since then, but it's nowhere near what it was. So people were finding like exploits where you can almost have it do the self-drive mode for like an hour and just let the thing run in the background. But that's not fun. Like you're supposed to be having fun playing this game. And with no network, there's no game to have fun with. And I'm pretty sure there's other games that have single player modes that have that same thing where if you have to do a PSN login, you're hosed. And like Pharaoh said, like even some of the PC games are like that. So they still haven't learned their lesson. Although I think they are starting to back away on the PC, the PSN login on newer games, but I don't think that helps Helldivers, which they pissed off some of the player base and stuff.
Now. So I think what they're doing is they're making it an option. So if you do sign up, you get like the things that were pre-order exclusive,
like
bonuses.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna give that. They're gonna give it to you.
I mean that makes sense. I mean that's one way of I wouldn't say tricking the PC players, but
it should have always been an option, right? Like it should have always been an option. So
no, but that network being down for that long is unacceptable. And the fact that I was waiting at least for the joking gaming media to say something stupid like, oh, it's Series S's fault, because they always want to blame the Series S for everything.
Yep.
Even though Warhorse Studios figured out how to make the game Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 better for all platforms thanks to the Series S. But yeah, they didn't even like really question it. They just reported the news. Oh, it's down. Why is it down? When is it coming back up? What does Sony say? It's like crickets over there with the gaming media for the most part. So
that's the thing. They forget how to ask questions conveniently. When it comes to PlayStation, it's like I know you know how to ask. I know you know how to push. I know you know how to frame things a certain way. So what's going on?
Yeah, every time they want to ask Phil, what he had for lunch and why he farted and why is he?
Phil, why does your shit stink?
We need to PlayStation know. Is like, hey, the network's down. Let me write an article of why that's good because I can go outside and touch grass now. Like, what?
Exactly.
Seriously, the gaming media is like so lopsided. It's ridiculous.
They're afraid of missing out on PlayStation games that don't exist.
Right?
Yeah, those free codes,
my gosh.
They'll get blacklisted.
Exactly.
Well said.
Exactly. Farrell, did you get your bars off on
I just thought it was pretty bad. I mean, I mainly got my bars off, but yeah, I mean, to not say anything as to why you had the outage, I think is quite concerning considering their history and how much customer information they have lost over the years.
Yeah.
Not to tell us exactly what happened, but at least assure us that your information, nothing happened to your information during this 24-hour outage. Everything is fine. It was just this type of error on our end. Even if it was just a certificate issue, like just let us know. Like make us feel comfortable as customers of yours who have been hacked and had our credit card data stolen before, that everything is okay. To not tell us anything, I think was in pretty poor taste.
Facts. Pretty embarrassing, actually, to still have shit like that happen when you could just be like, hey, just getting you guys an update. We figured out the problem. We're working on it. Some shit. Anything that gives them hope, right? We got the homie Service a lot. This is what they really should have done.
What's good?
Service a lot. We should pass this up to PlayStation. Maybe they can still make this happen for their fans. With that $2 super chat, appreciate you. Service a lot says Sony should have done a solid and gave them Concord.
Damn.
I agree. I agree.
Open up the servers. People might have played a little
100%. Just be like, here, guys. Here's Concord.
Just for you.
We brought it back from the dead just so that you can play it now.
I mean, listen, could they have possibly sparked something?
Hey, maybe.
Maybe that was a missed opportunity, right? To go ahead and make people feel like, oh, shoot, we got something for free. Let's see.
Facts.
Right? I mean, Sir Riff's a lot. You may be onto something.
100%. 100%. But yeah, no, that's
Rise up, Concordians.
So I want to go off of something.
Yes.
That IRL2 in the chat had brought up, and Fuzzy alluded to the idea, and you know, more on the PlayStation side of it, but you know, the media, they saw this and they wrote, you know, things of why it's okay for PlayStation have done this, right? Oh, I guess we get to go outside. We don't have to stress because, you know, before, if we can game, then we are shackled to the house. But if we can't game,
as if that wasn't an option before.
Yeah.
Like, you can still go outside, guys. You can do other things.
Exactly.
Like they didn't get the memo.
Exactly.
Especially an entire freaking fan base that doesn't freaking actually buy games, and they're just out there on Twitter talking shit.
They can do that commercial now. Remember that commercial?
Right? Oh my God, I feel like a child.
Yeah, they can do that commercial now. Because they didn't have any games in that commercial. No gameplay, no nothing.
There were no games. There were no games at all, actually. You're right, 100%.
That's how they did it. They're like, let's see.
100%.
Let's see what they do.